Hello, everybody. Good evening, good morning. It depends where you guys are watching from. So, I am so excited again tonight with Umoja Global Network with my special guest today. You have seen the flyer. I was looking forward for tonight because I I want to be able to introduce you and to celebrate our special guest, Dr. Lovella Mogere. How are you tonight, Dr. Lovella?
I'm fine. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. Of course, it's really a pleasure to have you, but also most importantly, it's because I really wanted to take this time to express for you, to express on you our love, our gratitude that we are very blessed to have you. You know, um,
Yes.
I have so many stories to share with our viewers, but please share this podcast so somebody can be able to join us, so you can be able to come and really engage with us because today it's about celebrating this woman of God, but also most importantly, showing some love and support because Dr. Lovella, if anyone knows, she's always give. She's a giver. So today we're really gonna dedicate this show to be able to give back to her because about you guys, but since I've known her, she always pouring to me. She's always sharing. I mean, always going. So to me, it was no brainer when I saw her birthday, and I kind of really did by purpose. I didn't say anything the whole day. I was waiting for everybody to wish her and then I surprised her, by saying, "Hello, are you gonna be here?" Because I didn't first of all, I didn't even ask her for her permission because I know she's always giving and giving and giving. So that's why I'm so excited again to be here today to celebrate Dr. Lovella, which she's a woman who has many hats in my life. So I'm really excited. For many roles that she has, but really a blessing to me. And many of us can be able to testify how a blessed that she's really been in the body of Christ, in our community, in different places. She's always gave. So definitely today, I hope you can be able, anybody can be able to put on the chat if you want to wish her happy birthday and also celebrate her. You can share with us a testimony, you can say comments, but definitely today me and and many women also will be joining us later on so they can be able also to say happy birthday to this amazing woman of God. So happy birthday again, Dr. Lovella.
Well, thank you.
um for me, I just want to start by saying many people, they know you, especially with me too, that we know you always giving, but I know you have many hats. So can you talk to us about your journey when you were growing up, you know as a young woman, as a young kid? What type of journey that you had with your parents, with your family, if you can just give us that background.
Well, thank you so much for asking. Matter of fact, we just had that conversation today. My mom and I, we were talking a little bit about what's happening now in the world, and so she's gonna be coming to spend some time with us for her birthday. And I was telling her, Mom, you should be able to share those stories. And the story is that I am I said, based on my, um, and as a descendant of immigrant parents and immigrant grandparents. And so my parents are from St. Kitts. My grandparents on my mother's side is from Munstrat, and my grandparents on my father's side is from Nevis, St. Kitts. And then they migrated to the U.S. Virgin Islands. And thus, as we were, I have three siblings, and we were born there. That's the conversation that we had. So I'm a first generation American from my family. Growing up, of course, just like any other family, we might have had some struggles, some hard times, but we were always a tight fit unit. Family, even now as an adult, we are still, me and my siblings are still tight fit in the sense that we overcome, and we were taught to overcome obstacles, overcome struggles by laughter, by laughter or a meal, on a meal. But I says we could, whatever, no matter what's going on, someone's cooking, and then we could just get to the table and cook and eat. And after whatever was happening at that moment is long gone. So with that, growing up in the U.S. Virgin Islands, the end, went to school, had many friends. I was a natural born leader, but of course you're not thinking like that when you're growing up. My parents, of course, were very heavily involved in ministry, thus me being a PK kid. And so from there, I moved to Texas at the age of 15, and then turned 16 here in Texas. And so my mom went ahead first, and she went to New York, and she went to Jersey, and she said, no, it's too fast paced. And then we moved to Texas. When we got here, oh gosh, we gave my mom a hard time because we're homesick. We want to go back to the islands, where life is carefree, life is easygoing, mellow. We're able to get food or pick mangoes off the tree. If we're sick, we go to the beach because it's salt water. We drink it, knock that cold out or whatever. But life was easier. The things that even growing up now, the things that we take for granted, we have to go. We have to buy ivy, buy cement, buy everything when we could just literally just pick ivies off the plant, go to the beach, or and do fishing or whatever. And so I've been here, oh my gosh, since I was 15. I did as I got older, and finished high school. Of course, I had my kids, had family. We moved around due to ministry. We traveled some states to North Carolina. We were on a military base in Alexandria, Louisiana, helping families build ministry there. So I love ground zero ministry, starting ministry. So I travel quite a bit. I've always liked writing, poetry when I was little. I did a lot of plays, dramas, but I was very active in sports, not realizing that today I would be writing books. Not, I'm like, come on, you'll never know. Just
Mhm.
starting off when you were youth, what will be planted, what will be seeded. And now here it is. Now I'm doing the very thing that I started off by just writing mere poetry. And so now, fast forwarding, I am a leader of leaders. Again, still PK kid. My parents are still in ministry, actively in ministry. A
Mhm.
PK kid, and my children, of course, they're PK kids too. They don't want to see it or like that, but they are PK kids. And I've went through a lot of changes and transition when it comes to ministry, knowing, learning, when it comes to life. So I've experienced a lot. I've embraced a lot. I had to let go of a lot. And what it did
Mhm.
was help or shape me to be the person that I am, which I'm evolving and still changing.
Mhm.
I'm adapting. I'm bending. Um, and as I am evolving, now, even with the place or state that I'm at, I'm again learning different parts of me. So I love rolling up with a nice, good book like Shakespeare or Socrates or Aristotle or something like that, and just get lost in reading. I have quite of an imagination.
Mhm.
Um, I am one that's, if I see it, I'll go after it. If you tell me no, I'm gonna tell you yes 10 times. That's just me. I'm a go getter. So I see the
Right.
impossible, and, and
Mhm.
just at this point, built many models, and they're doing different models right now. And so my hands are in a different phase in part of life, so where I'm solidifying and re-establishing foundation, whether it's business, ministry, and or my personal life. So I'm going through a total revamp right now, just solidifying things. And like I had that conversation with my mom today, reprioritizing life. Me and my parents are getting older, and they might not be so mobile. So again, what does that mean for me and my family? Again,
Mhm.
reprioritizing life. So I'm learning to let go and shut some things down. Again, to treasure the moments with family, treasure moments with my parents, and at the same time, look at legacy with a microscopic lens.
Mhm.
What does it look like? What does it mean? And
Yes.
also write or leave intellectual properties that would outlive me, you
Wow.
know.
So
Mhm.
on that sense, can you share with us, some of the tradition that you pass on to your children, to people that you work with in a ministry, in a professional setting, some of the tradition that you were growing up with, and then you continue to to pass on. Can you share some of those?
Family, of course, culture, food, recipes,
Okay.
the meaning or twangs of things. So even now, again, as I'm bridging the gap, and as my parents are now getting older, I'm hearing stories that they didn't tell us or share when they were younger. So now
Mhm.
I am the story. I'm writing the story and now sharing the stories with my children and grandchildren. And so, what does it mean? Pinpoint. No matter how far you go, no matter what you're doing, at the end of the day, you are a Caribbean descendant. This is your culture, this is your heritage, this is your lineage, you know?
Mhm.
And so, again, our key component to a bad day, whatever is going on, is food. What does that mean?
Yes.
Sharing recipes,
Mm.
and what does that mean? So, foundations, tutelage, what was taught to me, now being taught to them. Again, have you tried little things that when we're sick, little things that we again take for granted in growing up. Now I'm passing it on to them. So they have strong lineage, heritage, culture. With ministry, that right there is something else. Um, well, what I've come to know or learn is that no matter how long or time invested that you have spent, even broke bread, I've come to learn even now, um, Coach Janine, that I'm always misunderstood, and I'm just plain. I'm straight to the point.
Yes.
But
Yes.
what I've had to learn. It takes time. I could pinpoint the ones that took the time to study me,
Mm.
to know
Mm.
me, the
Mm-hmm.
depths of me, and
Yes.
and and so with that you will have circles. You will have circles within those circles. You'll have associates. You will have
Right.
friends. You will have
Right.
sisters and brothers. You
Mhm.
will have bonds and different relationship. But each relationship has a different definition. Each relationship have a different meaning, you know, and they're all in a different category,
Yes.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
because I've also learned that even in ministry, a lot of them, they will hold you captive to a role. And the role could very well be apostle, hold you up a pastor, whatever. They really don't want to know anything else about you because at that point, they just that's their demand. They're putting a demand on the role, you know, and then
Mm-hmm.
um, and so, with that,
Mm-hmm.
do they really want to know you? They don't want to know that you're human and you make mistakes. They have that superficial or that
Right.
ideology of who you are. And that's what they do. They put you in a box, you know? And so,
Yes.
again,
Oh my goodness.
for yes, because we will be mishandled and categorized, and they
Yes.
will put their
Mm-hmm.
last perception of the leader that they have experienced on you, not
Mm-hmm.
knowing that they are putting a lock and key and they're holding you captive, and you're nothing or like that last leader or that last
Mm-hmm.
nothing, but because of their last experience they will hold
Right.
you captive and want you to echo and respond according to their last experience. So I have found that's a good question that I have
Mm-hmm.
literally had to tear down some walls and break one's expectation of me so they could get to
Mm-hmm.
learn me. So I would be the one that's like, you don't know me. That's not me. That's not my
Mm-hmm.
wiring, and that's not my
Right.
DNA. Matter of fact, if you took the time to know me, you would learn how I think. So, again, a lot of them are low vibrational, and they're projecting, thinking I'm thinking that way, and in reality, I'm nowhere close to thinking, like that. So, a lot of leaders are misunderstood. Um,
Yes.
they are false. Let me say that they're a projection being projected onto them. And
Mhm.
the greetings, greetings. And so a lot of them don't know who you are, and a lot of them
Right.
really don't want to know who you are, you know.
Wow.
And
Ooh.
again, based on last experience, no, I am that leader that I will tap into what's in dormancy. So normally, that those that I've dealt with in the past, they've always
Mhm.
been a wrestle or a tugging. As long as I'm dealing with surface, this is why I'm saying they pray and ask for that leader, but then when they get that transparent leader, they don't know how to handle it because
Yeah.
they will
Mhm.
give you
Mhm.
surface
Right.
conversation, surface
Yeah.
level relationship, surface level experiences. But when you
Yeah.
have that leader that's matriculated, advanced, and have could see X-ray vision, I know what you're showing me, I know what you're telling me, but I'm hearing something else and I'm seeing
Right.
something else. Let's deal
Right.
with the core of it. Thus, now I, the leader, have to deal with that wall, that brick wall that keeps getting higher and higher and higher because they won't allow me to get closer again for them to know who I am. Now, in
Right.
the past, what I did was as leaders do, I saw potential, I've cultivated, nurtured potential, I've pushed potential. I've literally when I said keep when I said pushing or provoking fast forward potential, only
Mhm.
for me to realize that when they have gotten to that place that they have the ideology, they have the vernacular, they have the language, but they don't have the capacity. And so
Oh,
my
yeah.
lesson for that as a leader is when they say no, no is no. When they don't feel
Mm.
like it, they're not ready. And so
Yeah.
this is where the problem comes in. If you're not ready, no is no, then let me move on. I'm still dealing with you.
Right.
Move
Mhm.
on to the next that's ready. Then that's where the abandonment issue coming. Oh, you left me alone. You're not dealing. No, that's not it. I'm dealing with you, but I'm only dealing with you on the level that you will allow
Ooh,
me.
yes, sir. Yes.
That you
Yes.
will allow me. So I'm not
Right.
going to
Right.
force the pressurize.
Mhm.
See, that's the pastor's job.
Yeah.
Apostle, true apostle, don't do that. Pastors will keep doing it, stroking your ego. Baby, I'm not
Mhm.
going to do that. Your no is
Right.
no. So I have to respect your boundaries
Mhm.
and in
Come on.
respecting your boundaries
Yep.
based on what you've told me. So now I will have to deal with you based on your terms
Oh my
and
goodness.
your rules of
Yes.
engagement.
So,
Mhm.
so Dr. Lovella, today we are celebrating. If you just join us, thank you, ladies, for joining us. Thank you, Dr. Veranda. Thank you, Dr. T. Thank you, Apostle Sharon. Thank you, Ambassador Sheldon, to coming. Thank you, Stefan, and everybody else. Thank you, Kira. Thank you so much because today we're celebrating the woman of God, Dr. Lovella. For me, I just want to ask you that how did you deal in your journey, when you're growing up, and did you knew that you were always a servant leader or like a leader? And you just mentioned something about, people, not being at the surface. How did you deal with disappointment? How did you pass that and just keep it going? Because
Oh
I
my
know you did,
gosh.
you keep it going. So how did you deal with that?
I think that drive or that push,
Hmm.
that eternal push to keep going, to
Right.
keep pushing. That's survival mode. That's survival mode because no matter
Mm-hmm.
what we're dealing with, no matter what it looks like, no matter what's coming to pressurize, we were taught from childhood to keep going. We were taught from our parents, our grandparents, no matter what it looked like. That's a conversation I had again with my mom today, and I said my children are blessed, and they're like, well, you brought us here, or we were born here. And I said, I'm saying that you're blessed because you
Mm-hmm.
have the ability to turn on the lights and turn it off, put your AC on 70, 75, 80. I said, there were days when we didn't have lights, so we had to use the
Mm-hmm.
kerosene. There were times when we didn't have water. And so there were times when, or days where, when it was pitch black. And even in those moments when there was no electricity, no water, whatever, we had to make the best of what we had in that circumstances. So therefore, we had to tap into our resources at
Mm-hmm.
those time and make the best, again, survival mode. So it's those moments that shape my tenacity, shaped my resilience to for me to keep going, keep pushing. And even now they're like, "Are you going to get some rest?" Rest? What is that? I'm worrying. They're like, "Do you sleep?" I say, "I do," but I'm getting downloads and brain hacks, and I keep going or whatever. Again, is that those moments shape that resilience. It shaped that tenacity. It shaped. And I said shape and cultivated me to keep going no matter what it looks like, what it sounds like.
Mhm.
We don't see obstacles. Now, just because we see it and we acknowledge it and we speak it, that don't mean that we're allowing that obstacle to stop or to hinder. That's the objective of it. That's the purpose of it. So we find
Yes.
ways to either go around it, to jump over it, to knock it out of our way. We find ways to just keep going. And
Mhm.
so that was the birthing of who I am then. And now it shows up, in my adulthood. Mhm.
Wow, that's amazing. And guys, if you just join us, we are celebrating the birthday of the woman of God, Dr. Lovella, Apostle Lovella. Definitely, because today, the reason why I really chose today to celebrate her, because all the time she's the one who is always giving, like all the time. So today I was like, no, we need to show her some love too. So this is really important to me. And so, ladies, you are here. I want you to participate with me. So if you can be able to put in the chat one word that describes Dr. Lovella, okay? So if you can help me, because I'm going to be sharing my words, so she can also be able to hear what we think of her, by describing, some words, so that she can be able to get blessed. So to me, I want to go back to what you just said about really growing up sometime, and you were actually talking to your children about how they're very blessed, they're very lucky, to have food on the table and back on clothes on the back. To me, it's really showing me that you knew who you were since you were little, like even though you did not have everything that you wanted, you were not comfortable, but you knew your identity. And that's very important to see as a leader, and as even today, men of God, women of God who are listening to us, and even leaders, servants, leader who, no matter what, I mean, that drive that you're talking about, is like you knew who you were. You knew, so that was your circumstance will not really define you, but you knew who you were, right?
Mhm. That's true. That's true. That's true. The becoming. Those are the
Yes.
stages of the becoming, of
Mm-hmm,
who
mm-hmm,
you are, the
mm-hmm.
testament. No matter what come to break, what comes to shatter, what comes um to when I said penetrate and to weaken you, there was always moments where you either had to talk to yourself and you have to come up, you got to come up, come back up, and get your bearings together, get your posture
Mm-hmm.
together, and keep going. I remember one time, again, dealing with a situation, and he told me, he said, "I'm trying to break you, but every time I try to break you, you keep coming back. What is it?" What it is, what I got from that conversation is that what is it that keeps you going? Because no
Yes.
matter what you've dealt with, no matter what happened, no matter what's going on in your life, I've lost much, I've gained much. No matter what, he's trying to figure out what keeps you going, what keeps you going,
Mm-hmm.
and at that point, looking inward now again, like you said, I've always known who I am, and that's by way of introduction of who I am by way of culture, but who I am by way of
Mm-hmm.
my strength, which is a
Yes.
relationship with the Father, and also
Right.
again because of the bond or relationship that was shown, given, displayed within my family, is that we are one. We are a
Mm-hmm.
unified team, and we are, even as a
Mm-hmm.
unit, no matter what comes, you still have to fight. And
Mm-hmm.
I was able to see through my grandparents, them fighting, sustaining, maintaining. So I was able to see that strength, that resilience, in my grandparents, in my parents, and so now it's in me. So now my children, they could
Yes.
tell me, "Mom, over the
Uh-huh.
time, this meant to
Yes.
break you, this, and then you kept going." So they were, now I'm hearing the testament of their
Yes.
experience when it comes to me. Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow, and that is so very important for your children, and even the young generation, to see that in you. Not only that they're listening what you're saying and they're learning from you, but also by watching you, they are learning as women, as young women. They're learning through you. And that's why, some of the things I also kind of share that with you, Dr. Lovell.
Mhm.
My grandmother, or even women in my life, that I was seeing them how they were always in the community. I mean, like I shared in previously, that being really growing up in a very political family, I did not know like a day of break. I did not know that. Like we were always going to the town meeting or different things, like always in the movement. So to me, I feel like everybody was like that. Like, so leadership,
Yeah.
true leadership, I really experienced it in the house. Like be resilient, like
Mm,
perseverance no matter what, mindset. Like to me, the
mm,
shifting. Like so when I see people don't really do that, I was like, oh, like I was just really very surprised to say, okay, so that means they don't have that support system to be able to shape them like that.
mm,
Because to me, that's the only thing I know about servants, being a servant leader. That's what one thing I really
mm,
admire. Today, I'm really gonna give a testimony. Like Dr. Lovella, it's something that I know. Giving, it's your nature. Like seriously. So that's my word. Giving, because she's give her time. She's give her talent, her skill, her leadership, her mentorship, every single thing that I've known since I've known her. She's giving it her nature. Even though she could be giving, she's tired. She will be giving like she doesn't, but just giving it really her nature. So that really touched me so much, Dr. Lovella, about you. And I know the ladies, they can share this and really relate to this because you are always available. And that really, really touched me on so many ways. So I really want to thank you for
mm.
that, because you are always available to in our community, and many, queens that I know are here today. They can testify. But you are such a blessing, really a blessing
Thank
to
you.
us, and for me too. So thank you so much, Dr. Lovella, again.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Again, that was also shown and given and displayed. Always shown, given and displayed. So learn how to give of yourself. Matter of fact, give all. Sometimes you give until you don't have nothing yourself. Everybody has gotten. Everybody, you good. You set. Everybody set. Okay, let's go. What about you? What about me? you know,
Yes.
it'll come wherever there's a need. You serve the need. Whatever there's a whatever needs, when I say serve the need, or when there's an opening, you fill the gap. Okay, let's go. What do you need? Okay, I got it. I said, okay,
Yeah.
fine, let's go. You know, let's make this work. So yeah, teamwork.
Absolutely. Teamwork, yes. And I think I'm reading from the chat here. I think D motivates say all the time. She's giving. Yes, I agree with
Mhm,
you.
mhm,
That's who she is for sure. So that's why I wouldn't miss it today. I was like, even though for a few minutes, I need to celebrate this woman of God because she really, really deserves. If there's somebody who always gives, it's Dr. Lovella. No matter when you call her, or how long or how many times you call, she said, okay, even though she doesn't know, but she will give you the right direction, or she will definitely direct you to who you should be able to be talking to. So she's definitely a resources for many, many of us for sure. And
mhm.
to me, I'm very, very excited because for me, I'm always excited to see that. I think she's also a nice person like me. So I was like, whoa, sometimes I'm just doing something, and then I see like she's up. I was like, oh, don't tell her she's up. So I really thank God for you about that. Now,
Yeah,
my
thank
other
you.
question to you, Dr. Lavena, what would you say to your younger self? Like let's say, definitely you were talking to you again, to yourself. What would you say to you again?
Practice grace. Don't be so hard on you. Practice grace. Um, don't be so hard. 'Cause I am hard. I'm hard on myself. I'm hard on myself. And I had a friend, she's not here today. And I got to do this is I got to do this. And she said, but you did it though. And so I have a list that I'm checking off that I have to do. And she would have a list of things that I've done. And so
Yes.
I'm saying that I got to do this, that, and I haven't done this and I haven't done that. And she's echoing, but you did this milestone. Everything that you said on the list, things that you said you wanted to achieve, you did. But that's not, this is me. But it's not good enough. And she said, well, when will it be good enough for you? That's her
Mm-hmm.
question to me. And she said, everything that
Yes.
you set out to do, short term or long term goal, as long as I've been
Mm-hmm.
knowing you, you have achieved it. And now I'm like,
Yes.
but it's not enough. But when will it be enough? And I said, there's something I'm
Right.
looking at, there's something I'm driving at, and I'm not going to stop until I get it
Right.
done. And so she would just shake her head and she was like, oh my God. So some would call it being an overachiever,
Mm-hmm.
but I am hard on myself. Okay, and a little touch of perfectionism. Oh, that don't look good. Oh, I got to tear this down. Oh, I got to do this. Oh, I got, I've gotten better over time, but I am going
Mm-hmm.
to drive it until I get to that point. And that sometimes that means me becoming tunnel vision, even though I'm able to
Mm.
multitask. I get tunnel
Yes.
vision to the point where I will shut
Mm.
things down until I, achieve that goals, and I will drive it to the end until that goal is accomplished. And yet again, here it is now. Even though achieving a milestone, again, that's not it. But
Mm.
you didn't know that's not it. There's still got more work to do. There's always more work to do. There's always
Mm-hmm.
something to do. So I'm always building, always expanding
Yes.
again because there's so much to do. It's not about me getting the
Yes.
accolades, the degrees, or getting all of this under my belt. That there's just so much work that needs to be done, and the more there's awareness,
Agree.
um,
Agree.
awareness as to what you're to achieve, and there's a landscape of legacy because
Mm-hmm.
even now, one of my goals is before the end of the year, I'm going to write 50 books. And I mean, I'm going to drive it to the end until I get those 50
Yes,
books
sir.
out before
Yes.
2025. Again, it's not about, oh, how many books I'm writing. No, based on the
Mm.
awareness. Again,
Yes.
my real estate or my intellectual property is going to outlive me. The meaning there these they have to get into the hands, also reshape the minds of those that's going to read the
Mm-hmm.
material. So that's my contribution to the
Mm-hmm.
universe. That's my
Oh my.
contribution to God. All
Woo.
creation have been waiting for me.
Yes.
It's been waiting for my intelligence. It's been waiting for my DNA. It's been waiting for my
Amen.
contribution. And so
Mm.
even with that, there's some gaps and there's some times that we have allowed things to happen, life happen, and a lot of us are
Mm-hmm.
delayed or we have been derailed or whatever. But then when those aha moments happen and then there's awareness, and now it brings you right back on track. Now you got to go,
Yes.
okay, what can I do? We have to be like Nehemiah. We got 52 days, you know, we're building. I can't come down,
Right.
So
No,
yes,
not yet.
yeah.
So definitely I can feel like you are on assignment. This is your assignment right now. This is you need to fulfill this assignment. I think that's for that. And
Mhm.
we will be here to lift up your hands definitely and to keep pushing you because we love you. We believe in what you're doing. And let's go, Dr. Lovella. Now we are wrapping up, but I would like if you can talk to us about few things coming up so people can be able to be tuned in and be able to reach out. I mean, you already have some actually three books since we talked. Like I think the workbook and and a couple more things. So please talk to us about that so we can be able to put the link after this video so people can come and reach out to you and purchase it too. And what come next, Dr. Lovena?
Okay, okay. One of the books just released is called The Seer Sequence. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I'll go back to the Black Woman Confession, one of your
Yes.
favorites.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And matter of
Yes.
fact, I'm getting the testimonials or testament about
Mm-hmm.
the that oh my gosh, this book
Yes.
has helped me. Oh my gosh, this book
Yes.
is I needed this, and that is to inspire, but awaken women from
Mm.
within and without, because what we tend to do is then work on the
Yeah.
outside, and then
Mm-hmm.
while
Mm-hmm.
so it's to tap into your inner strength, and it calls you to
Yes.
tap into core sides for you on tap, or sides
Mm-hmm.
for you that's in dormancy, and tap into a cut, which means a cut or a side of you, just like the diamond has different
Mm-hmm.
cuts and shape. Tap into
Right.
the cut or the side of you on tap uncultivated,
Mhm.
and at the same time that
Mhm.
needs your attention. Because as you go, grow, evolve, it's very revolutionary. And as you're
Yes.
becoming and you are evolving, what
Mhm.
happened is that we get into a plateau, and when we get into some spaces, whatever, we crash, burn, and die. Why? Because we realize, even though we had capacity that took us to those doors, substance,
Mhm.
we didn't have the substance. We didn't cultivate character. We didn't cultivate
Mhm.
self confidence, self perseverance, whatever. So these cracks in our foundation have us to look weak or dealing with low self esteem or negative self talk or chatter. And before you know it, we're back at square one again. Why is your self talk louder than the voice of purpose? Why is your self talk louder than the voice of God? Why is your self talk so negative? Is always choking away. So that book, that is for women that
Right.
are not only striving but thriving, to empower them. The other is called the seer sequence. That is dealing with the seers or the emerging seers as well as seasoned seers. That even though you see things in chronological order, which means you see past the present into the future. When you're able to now release, you have to be able to release chronological order, you're aligning
Mhm.
order, you're aligning time. But this is to the seer, just letting them know a lot of things that God has allowed you to see and trusted you to see it. He has
Mhm.
entrusted you, gifted you with time,
Right.
and you have to hold on to it, be impregnated with it, and with it until the timing of the release, which means you now have to carry the weight of a timeline, the weight of the
Mhm.
responsibility of a timeline. And when you release it, you will align time and syncopate time, which means you will align time for somebody else. You will
Right.
syncopate time, you
Mhm.
will unlock time. But even though
Right.
the release has a weight, the release has a weight. So again, letting them know, reminding them who they are, why the divine has trusted you with time, and again,
Mhm.
why he has trusted you with eternity to be able to now echo his mind as a seer.
Yes.
And when to speak, know when to speak, when know when to, because your sights have words, when to speak, when not to speak, when to release and when not to release. Because again, what you're doing is moving the hand of time when you release time. So that's for the seer. And the other is called the deciphering the code to leadership. Again,
Mhm.
that's just one of my favorites, is speaking to leaders, those that's emerging into the role of a servant leader and or a leader. What does leadership look like for you? And
Mhm.
even though we was inducted and deputized into a role of leadership, what your purpose to do might not have anything to do with
Mhm.
what you have been inducted to, what you've been
Right.
deputized to. We speak about the landscape of leadership, you, the vision, the visionary, you building models, entities, and also your scope of leadership. You are the voice of generations to come. You will shape
Yes.
minds. You
Come
will
on.
unlock what's
Yes.
within as
Mm.
a leader. But then letting you know, you as the leader, you will decipher codes within,
Yes.
unlock mysteries within, awaken souls again.
Mhm.
But how do you do that? You have to know who you are. You have to know you're chosen, your purpose.
Mhm.
Again, because even though we
Right.
have read all these books about leaders, we've seen different leaders, they all have a common goal. They're leaders, but they are leading a movement. Some are through activism, some are through
Right.
feminism, some are to politics or whatever. Even though they're
Mhm.
on the front line, they all have a purpose. They all have a role, and they
Right.
all are leading generations to come. So you have, so it's helping them to decipher the code of them within them
Mhm.
first, why
Mhm.
you were chosen, why you were
Right.
chosen for such a time as this, and why you're locking. And now that you know who you are, based
Mhm.
on your leadership style, your purpose, when I said organizational skills, now let's target your audience. Hmm. Just because
Wow.
you grew up in church don't mean that you're called to ministry.
That's right.
Um,
Come on. Oh.
because you grew up within the full wall capacity, that don't mean that's where you're supposed to be building from. So,
That's right.
what are you purpose to do?
Mm.
Decipher again the call. So you will be deciphering yet the code to leadership. Mhm.
Thank you so much again, Dr. Lovella, for all this insight and these books. Guys, I really urge you to be in touch with Dr. Lovella so you can be able to purchase these books because I just told you we did 21 days with the woman of God. I was so blessed. I mean, I discovered myself again. That different
Mhm.
pieces, like layers and layers of me that I didn't know. So through that book, the conversation with a black woman, to me that was really another page that I started. So I was
Mm.
very grateful. Me and Coach Tina. So definitely, I can definitely be a testimony because these books are really are tools for you all leaders who have been called, and also even in your workplace, you can be able to to teach your team how there are some very some nuggets that are really learned how to be able to share with others. So you won't regret purchase those books so you can be able to be a blessing, for your community and also for people around you. We wrapping up. What are the last words for you for tonight? And again, thank you, ladies, who participate and different things about people unlocking mystery. Yes, yes, yes. Coach Danielle, definitely. She's gonna come back again. That's for sure. But for tonight, we're stopping here. So please, can you tell us what people can be walking
Okay, could you repeat that? You were kind of freezing. Could you repeat that last part? Could you repeat that last part? You were okay. She'll be back, but I think she was asking me to share my last words. What would be my last words? Um, Grow, blossom, thrive, exist,
Mm,
be an echo of peace,
mm,
be of one to be a voice of refreshing, mm,
mm,
to someone that's looking for answers, quench someone's thirst, mm, be fluid. Also, allow your wisdom and knowledge to feed the hungry that's
mm,
thirsty or hungry for knowledge.
mhm, mhm.
So that would be so. Again, I would say expand yourself, go
Yes.
beyond your inner circle, go
Mhm,
beyond the inner circle of your past, go beyond the inner circle of what you've done by way of ideology, your past knowledge, go your past experience. Reach out to new minds, deep minds,
mm,
have that has different or new perspective, knowledge, and new horizon as you are growing,
yes.
evolving radically,
Mhm.
radically. Mhm.
Thank you so much again, Dr. Lovella. Thank you so much, everybody who reached out today. You came back and then, participate with us today of the celebration of the woman of God, Dr. Lovella. Thank you again, everybody who came and those who are going to be listening to the replay. Please leave some comments, some wishing birthday to the woman of God, Dr. Lovella, this woman that we all cherish and love. She's always giving. So today was really, really, really important for us to show her some love too. So please leave some comment if you watch it, this replay. You can wish also a happy birthday to Dr. Lovella. So thank you again, everybody, and we see you guys next Sunday. Okay, bye bye.
Bye bye.